Hey, okay, so I wanted to just make a really quick video about 3 things that I learned from meditating for 90 days straight. So the first thing I'll say is that I, like many of you probably watching this, have heard about meditation. We know that it's good for you. And the first thing you probably think about is like, okay, you sit down, you close your eyes, you sit in silence, and you try to like reach this Zen type state, right? Like that's kind of like our impression of what meditation is. And although I had tried meditation in the past and I've had a couple successful attempts where like I felt like okay, I'm relaxed now, and I'd kind of use it as like an anti-stress tool. But I just never really got into it. Like I knew it was good for me, I just never established a habit. So sometime last year, I started just watching YouTube videos and started getting more into it. And that's when I came across some really good Buddhist teachers and started to slowly but surely understand like, oh, okay, so there actually is some specific things about meditation that really make it meditation, so to speak. Whereas before, I would just sit with my eyes closed and just be like lost in thought. So with that being said, I finally established this meditation routine with this app called Waking Up. I'll link it in the description. Zero affiliation. This is not a sales thing. This is just a genuine recommendation for an app that literally has changed my life. So here are 3 things that I've learned from meditating over the course of the last 90 days. So number 1 is that we are always lost in thought. If you really pay attention to what's going on in your head, your mind is bouncing all over the place. And whether you know it or not, it's happening. So if assuming you're not operating heavy machinery or anything right now, do a little experiment for yourself right now. So basically, after I explain what to do, pause this video and just try paying attention to one thing. Like it could be a lamp, it could be just looking at a painting, it could be anything. Just pick one thing. It could be your breath even, which is a good object of meditation to start with. So pick one thing and just try to stick with that one thing for 30 seconds, right? Just stick with it and just see what happens to your mind. Like just tune in and pay attention to what's happening. And what you'll likely find is that your mind is gonna bounce around and race. It's probably thinking right now, like, what is this guy talking about? Like, I'm not lost in my head. Like, this guy's out of his mind. Like, that's the voice that I'm talking about. So we all have this inner roommate that is just kind of just going. And that leads me to the second point. And the second point is, we all have this insane lunatic living inside of our head, following us around from room to room, just going on and on and on. Like, and it's usually negative. It's usually thinking about a conversation that happened or something that you need to do, or a worry that's been plaguing you for some time, or something stupid that you said, or the fact that you're hungry. It's always just following you around from room to room, often saying the same thing over and over. And if you think about it, if someone comes up to you and they start repeating themselves over and over again, first thing you're going to think is, this person has brain damage. Like, there's something wrong with this person. Yet we do that internally all day long, just repeating similar things and old patterns, and it's just all day long. So that's the second thing that I learned, is that we have this inner roommate that follows us around. The third and final thing that I would say I learned is that we do have the capacity to train our minds. So over the course of the first 90 days, when I first started, the first direction was just to follow the breath. And there's nothing special about the breath. The breath is just always here in the present moment. And I know we've always heard like, okay, be present, stay with the moment. We all know this, but to truly stay present and just bring yourself back to the present over and over again when you keep getting distracted, that is the practice of mindfulness, right? It's not about stopping thoughts or reaching this Zen state. It's just about continually and gently bringing yourself back to the present moment, right? And again, the breath is just one object of meditation. And I'll maybe make another video that goes into further detail, but over the course of the last 90 days, I've clearly noticed my ability to really stay present and just kind of watch thoughts arise and disappear and kind of watch sensations come up and then leave, I have absolutely seen that skill grow. Because meditation is like anything else. It's like guitar, it's like any other skill. You know, you can't just pick up a guitar and start ripping solos. Like, you got to start learning the notes, and you got to start playing some chords, and eventually you can play a song, kind of, sort of, and over time, then you can really start playing music. And the same thing goes to meditation. So, without going too far into detail, I can make another video if anyone's interested, but really all I can say is that meditation has single-handedly been the most valuable thing that I have ever added to my life, hands down. Because what it does is it gives you the ability to pay attention to what's going on and to decide whether or not something is likely to be good for you or whether it's likely to be bad for you, or whether you're on the right path or the wrong path. And more importantly, it allows you to let go of negative things that are holding you down, whether it's a fight or whatever the case may be. Because to feel angry or to feel sad or to feel depressed, the root cause of that is what you think. And if you're lost in thought and you have no idea that you are lost in thought, you have no capacity to intervene and to break up that automaticity. You will just have no other choice but to live out that thought until it eventually stops. Whereas mindfulness and meditation gives you that tool, it gives you that opportunity to be able to just drop the rope and let it go. And then you quickly realize the half-life of negative emotions is very short if you stop perpetuating and appropriating that emotion with all the thoughts that are affiliated with it. So those are 3 things. Hopefully that's helpful, but just genuinely, we're getting into the new year. I cannot recommend enough how meditation is single-handedly the best thing you can do for yourself in the new year. Because of course, we're all gonna make a bunch of New Year's resolutions and this and that, and we're not gonna follow any of them. So do yourself the favor, pick one resolution and let it be mindfulness and let it be meditation, because your mind is the one thing that is involved with everything you do. But we never really take the time to realize, oh, this is something that I can actually train. So, a couple tips about meditation, highly recommend it. I'll link the app Waking Up. It's 10 minutes a day, best thing you can do for yourself, hands down. So, wish you the best and good luck.